All right, fellas, it's the Hook Cam back with another film breakdown. Hall of Fame game, man. I was excited to break this thing down. Watched it. I forgot it was the Hall of Fame game, and they don't really run anything special. It's all very, very simple stuff, as it should be. Nothing wrong with that. That's exactly what you want to do as a coach. Keep it simple. Find out who does what the basis of your teaching the best, and move on from there. So a couple of guys that I do want to point out, and I do want to make just a short video on this, is Dalton Risner, the young rookie out of Kansas State, playing left guard here for your Broncos. I thought he did well. I really did. I thought he did well. After kind of watching it, you could tell he's a rookie. He's still learning things, but they did a good job keeping it simple for him and letting him kind of do what he does best and keeping things, like I said, very simple and letting him be good at tackle football. So on this play, just schematically really quick, we have inside zone to the left. It's going to be weak side. Our tight end's up here, so it's going to be a weak side inside zone with a lead. And Dalton Risner, since we're kind of focusing on him, what's going to end up happening, this D tackle shifts into a 3-tech. We essentially have a bare front here from the defense. We have our 2 edge defenders outside shade of the tackle, our 2 3-techs who are going to be on the outside shade of the guard, and then we have our nose who is he's shaded right now on the center's weak side. So with this, Dalton Risner does a good job coming upfield on this, not taking too big of a step, not giving up too much ground, but just hanging on that backside of that D tackle. And the one thing that I do want to point out about this is helmet starts a little bit too far to this left side of his, right? He does a good job working it back in and getting on that play side for him, not giving any ground and not letting this D tackle work anything and trying to make a play on this. Now, the worry that you have as an O-line coach, and why I want to point this out, is a lot of times when you have inside zone to the left, you have guards who overstep, right? They overstep to the left, they leave this huge gap on the inside that D tackle can cut in and make a play on it. Risner does a good job of working just upfield, work vertically, work on that half of the D lineman, and making some room for his running back on that. So a good start to his little Hall of Fame game right here. All right, fellas, one other play from Dalton Risner that I wanted to point out here. First and goal on the 4 for the Broncos, first touchdown of the game. Falcons are lined up in kind of that bare front again. I don't like how they're lined up at all, though. They only have one backer really in the box on this. But essentially what's happening again from the Broncos is they're running inside zone to the left. It's a weak side inside zone. They're trying to create a combo here with their center and right guard up to this Mike backer. Their tackle's got to get across and get to this defensive lineman, and then we essentially just have to close out inside gaps with these tight ends. Now, Dalton Risner playing left guard right here again. He does a really good job on this thing, making contact on that inside of this defensive lineman, right? So it's essentially on his play side. Once he makes contact here, he does a great job extending that arm right there. That's outstanding. You just bench press this defensive lineman, create as much space as you can in between that D lineman and the ball carrier, and then just finishing this thing off. That dude had no chance on this. So a good job from that left guard. This is definitely a play that if I was a coach, I would point out to him. But again, this is the kind of nastiness that you like to see on the O-line. Does a solid job keeping his base. I don't like how long his feet are in the air on this, but besides that, another good play from Dalton Risner. That'll kind of be the end for him, and we'll move on to a little bit of Drew Lock here. All right, fellas, getting into the Drew Lock portion of this video. Very simple route-wise from this first play here. We're going to get a curl from number 1, a fade from number 2. It's going to be mirrored, so we're going to curl from number 1 up top and a fade for number 2, and then we're going to get a post down here. Not a great ball from Drew Lock, right? Not a great ball. We got to be able to put this thing on him. Again, it could be worse. Again, and I don't want to rip this kid entirely quite yet. It definitely could be worse. That ball could be way inside, and it could be possibly picked off, but he puts it in a position where only his guy can get it. I respect that part of it, but we got to get this thing a little bit closer to 87, okay? But the one thing that I do love about this play, and this is something that I wasn't expecting to see from Drew Lock, is his eyes, right? In his drop back, he's staring down that safety, and what that does is it's going to force him to hesitate. Right, it's not gonna. You're not gonna be staring down this fade route so that safety can get over the top. He's staring down that safety, forcing him to essentially just backpedal. That's it. He can't make a decision because he doesn't know where the ball's going. But as soon as Drew Lock snaps his eyes back, delivers a decent ball to Noah Fant, but again, it's not great, right? He's got to be able to put this thing on him and give your guy a position to put your guy in a position to make a play on it. But again, it could be much worse. So get into the second play here. This is again not a great ball. The timing on this route isn't great. The timing's not bad. I shouldn't say that. The timing's not bad. It's just the position where he puts this thing. It's way behind. If that DB could catch, he would take that thing to the house. But again, this is just a timing route, and this is something that'll get better with practice. But two not great throws from Drew Lock, but he definitely makes some better ones as we get into this thing. All right, fellas, last play that I want to break down here from Drew Lock's debut. Schematically, very simple. We're just going to have a slant from number 2, a slant from number 1, and then a wheel from our back. All that's happening is we're trying to create traffic in here, force this guy who's covering the back to get out and get over all this stuff and make a play on it. Now, the Broncos actually have him schemed up pretty well because the Falcons try and pass this off, right? If we can see, this cat ends up covering the back. So as this slant comes over, he's going to pass that off, and then he's going to take the new number 2, who ends up being number 1 on this route. But as you can see, passes that off, trying to get over to the wheel route, which he's late to. And a good ball from Drew Lock. This is a good ball. This is exactly where you want it, right in the breadbasket. Unfortunately, 49 can't hang on to it. But if he does, I would imagine this thing goes, it's possible for 6 based off of 16's reaction. He looks pretty bummed out about that. But again, this is exactly what you want, keeping it simple for the rookie, and he delivers a good ball. So anyway, guys, that'll do it for this breakdown. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you learned something. Once again, I'm the Hook Cam. Please like and subscribe. Share my stuff. I'm hyped for this football season and to get some breakdowns going for you guys. So like I said, hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. And I'll see you next time.